back. We are now 3 weeks into a government shutdown, and both parties continue to trade blame for it. The Senate reconvenes today after a holiday weekend to vote on spending bills. The bills have already fallen short of the necessary 60-vote threshold 7 times. Senate Republicans haven't won over any additional support from Democrats, and Democrats say they won't vote to reopen the government unless health insurance tax credits are extended. But the people feeling the brunt of this shutdown, well, those are federal workers. The Trump administration announced last Friday that it has started layoffs. And this morning, House Rules Committee Chairwoman Virginia Foxx spoke with the media about what federal workers can expect in terms of pay.
Today, 400,000 federal workers will receive partial paychecks. The Speaker called attention to this last week. This will be the last paycheck that these federal workers receive until Democrats grow a spine and reopen the federal government.
Now let's go live to Capitol Hill and CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian. Nicole, thank you for joining us today. What are the prospects of a solution today? Are there even any?
Well, hope always springs eternal, and, I think you can never say never, right? But I think as far as the dynamics are concerned, not a whole lot has changed, mostly because lawmakers haven't been here. They were out for the holiday weekend. We know the Senate is going to make another attempt to try to vote on a government funding bill, and this time it may just be the one bill being the one that passed the House last month that would fund the government through mid-November. Sometimes the Senate has been also voting on a Democratic alternative, but at this point, we expect them just to focus on the one funding bill at this time. So far, we have seen 3 senators peel off who caucus with the Democrats, 2 of them being Democrats, the other being an independent, Angus King, who caucuses with Democrats. So the big question is whether we will see more Democrats peel off or if they will continue to hold the line, which is what Leader Schumer has been arguing for. He still believes that the best way to get out of this is through bipartisan negotiations. But as we heard Speaker Johnson reiterate this morning, he believes that, Republicans and Democrats have had plenty of time to negotiate prior to this shutdown. At this point, he believes Democrats simply need to act.
Nicole, members of the military, they're supposed to be paid tomorrow. President Trump said funds will be used to ensure payments to troops. Where exactly are those funds coming from, and what's the impact here?
Yeah, well, look, obviously in a shutdown, because Congress has not approved any additional funding, the White House has to get creative. And so we saw over the weekend President Trump direct Secretary Hegseth to look for all available funds to pay the military since their next checks are due tomorrow. We did a short time ago see a new post from the White House Office of Management and Budget that in essence said that it is making preparations to, quote, batten down the hatches and ride out what they say is Democrats' intransigence. Furthermore, the post goes on to say pay the troops, pay law enforcement, continue the rifts, and wait. So that law enforcement piece is important because now the question is, could the White House potentially be looking for ways to pay federal law enforcement since they have found a way to pay the troops, or will they look for ways to pay other sectors of the government that continue to have to work without pay? So that is what we are seeking answers to, but certainly on the part of lawmakers, they remain concerned by and large that many federal workers aren't getting paid in this period right now, although, as we discussed, it hasn't necessarily moved the ball forward as far as trying to fund the government.
We'll wait and see what actually does. Nicole Killian, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, Weijia, the president was also asked about the government shutdown now in its 3rd week. Here's what he had to say about the impasse over health care that's dividing Democrats and Republicans.
They want to have health care for illegals that have come in. Many of these people are criminals, and they want to have health care. And what it also does is, we have nobody coming in now. We have it really locked down. If they start winning cases like this, we're going to have a rush on our border because they're going to come up for health care and the other things that they give away. Look at Newsom, education, health care, he gives everything away. People come up for that. People come from other countries for that. So we can't have it. We can't have it.
Okay, Weijia, the president there echoing the party line on the shutdown stalemate. Does this mean no more talks with Democratic leadership in Congress?
Well, the Democratic leadership and Republican leadership in Congress have not even had talks that are formal. Senator Schumer and Thune have talked casually on the Senate floor, but there has not been an official meeting since they were all here at the White House back in September. And so there are no formal talks, certainly, between the White House and Democratic leadership. Officials have said that's up to the Republican senators to do. And so they remain at a stalemate, and it's very difficult to see what the off-ramp is. One of these sides is going to have to give in somewhere. And, you know, the fact is, for now, they're not even talking about how to get there. We should mention that, of course, members are trying to talk, are trying to figure out, you know, different options that could be on the table. But so far, nothing has been scheduled in terms of official engagement.
Okay, Weijia Zhang at the White House for us today. Thank you so much.